reviewing Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious is a 2001 crime action thriller. It's kind of like Point Break, but if you were gonna put cars instead of surfing. It's kind of the vibe I got with it. I know it. Okay? Now, the film's really... the film franchise known as the Fast franchise has been a long-lasting franchise, lasting over, I think, 2 decades now. It's coming to us in 30. It's nearing its... I don't know how many year run of being a really long-running franchise. So far, they only had 11. So far, they've only had 10 films out, or even the first one. So it came in 2001, that makes it 23 years old. It stars Vin Diesel, playing Dominic Toretto, and Brian O'Connor, played by Paul Walker. It's a great, thriller-esque movie. A lot of twists, a lot of turns, a lot of good action. Actually, David Ayer, who did Fury and 2016 Suicide Squad, and 2024's The Beekeeper, which I reviewed already, actually helped make this film. Originally, it was going to be in New York with Italians and have an almost all-white cast. But David Ayer took it in a different direction with help from Diesel, and they crafted one around the LA Latin community of street racing to have more inclusivity. It's really well written. Actually, for help, Vin Diesel and Paul Walker both went to drag racing, like street racing. It's called drag racing because of dragging the car along the road. To see, okay, what's the community like that we're going to be making on screen? And they actually hired actual, street racers to come and be extras in the film itself. The film, I have to say, it's a really good film for coming in 2001. It made a lot of money, and it spearheaded a long-running franchise, known as the Fast trilogy. The graphics, the physics actually look pretty good. Some of the stunts look so cool to do compared to the unrealistic stunts that they did now. That on the DVD that I watched, Paul Walker said to give a PSA saying, "Hey, remember, we did this with an actual stunt crew who was actually trained in running this. Don't do this at home and be safe drivers, Because, when you're watching the Fast and Furious, don't you just want to do those stunts? Who cares about the car damage? That was kind of vibe that you got from this movie, truly. From this movie series. Going into the first film has a lot of cameos from a lot of different people. From what I remember watching it, I think there was a character in it, Reggie Spencer. Oh yeah, Reggie Lee, who played Lance Newman. And you're like, oh, who is he? Well, if you're a fan of Grimm, which is another show which I totally love, he was in it. He played Detective Wu, or Detective Drew Wu, Sergeant Drew Wu, and yeah. But going back to Fast and the Furious, because I just wanted to point out that there's a Grimm reference in there. So if you're a fan of Grimm, you'll see a young, this film is very unique on how it's very much a bromance film of the the early 2000s. Like, a lot of this film is early 2000s-esque stuff. And it has Corona. There is a scene where they go to this house party, and they're only drinking Corona. Which, since it was such a low-budget film, the reason why I think they could get Corona to sponsor was that it's a very cheap beer, and they could buy a whole lot of it. That's how I thought. But, yeah, I've actually had Corona. It tastes pretty okay. But I'm not much of a drinker anyways. Yeah. But aside from that, this film is amazing. I'm excited to see where the trilogy, where the series comes from here. And yes, I will be reviewing all of them. And I have some thoughts on the others. Don't worry. But do worry. But do know that I really respect the plot of this film. This film was really good. I mean, it had some of the most insane action scenes that I've seen. That I've ever seen. Now they're saying, really, you haven't seen the other ones. Oh boy, you're in for a treat. I know. I'm just saying, for the first film, they really knocked it out of the park. But I know they jumped the shark. Or jumped 3 buildings. Just saying. Yeah. That was my review of Fast and the Furious 1. I give it 5 racing, 6 Coronas out of 10. The reason I give it 6, well, it's a good film, but man, actually, no, what are you thinking about it? I think it's more of a 10 Corona out of 10. Yeah. 10 Corona out of 10. 10 Coronas out of 10 Coronas. And that's it. Don't worry, my Oscar prediction video is coming out tomorrow, so be aware for that. And yeah, see ya.